Welcome back to the Advisor Growth Lab. Today, I want to talk to you about something that quietly shapes almost every opportunity you get as an advisor, even though most people don't really think about it. It's that moment when someone hears your name for the first time and decides whether they want to take the next step. That decision almost never happens in a meeting anymore. It happens online. Someone hears about you from a friend, a CPA, a coworker, or a family member, and the next thing they do is pull out their phone. They Google you. They click on your website. They skim your LinkedIn. Sometimes they even type your name into ChatGPT or another AI tool just to see what comes back. All of that takes a couple of minutes, and by the end of it, they have a feeling about you. Not a detailed opinion, just a sense of whether you feel like someone they could talk to. That feeling is what makes them reach out or keep scrolling. I've worked with a lot of advisors who are incredibly good at what they do. They're thoughtful, experienced, great with clients, but when someone looks them up online, none of that comes through. What shows up instead is a website that feels generic or a profile that doesn't say much. It's not wrong, it's just invisible. And that's a big problem in a world where people have so many choices. When someone lands on your site or reads something you wrote, they're not really looking for credentials. They're trying to answer one very simple question. Do I feel comfortable with this person? Your website is where that answer starts forming. Most advisor websites talk in very broad language. They use phrases like comprehensive financial planning or trusted wealth management. Those phrases sound professional, but they don't give a real person anything to connect to. When a website is specific, something shifts. If someone reads, I help business owners plan for life after they sell their company, they immediately know whether that's done. If they read, I work with retirees who want steady income without worrying about market swings, they feel understood. That's not marketing magic, that's human psychology. Specificity makes people feel seen. It also makes search engines and AI tools understand you better. When your site clearly connects you to a certain audience and a certain set of problems, you become easier to find. People don't search for firms, they search for answers. They're typing things like, should I roll over my 401k? Or how do taxes work in retirement? Or what should I do if I own a business and want to retire? If your site talks about those things in a real plain language way, you start showing up. That's one of the simplest and most powerful things you can do. Think about one question you get from clients all the time. One thing to explain over and over in meetings. That question should live on your website as its own page. Not buried in a blog, a real page that someone can land on and read. When you do that, you're not just helping that one person, you're giving Google and AI something to understand. You're creating an on-ramp into your firm that works day and night. Now let's talk about LinkedIn. A lot of advisors think LinkedIn is about posting the right things or getting enough likes. What it's really about is letting people hear how you think. When you share a thought about targets, a story from a client meeting, or a question you get all the time, you're giving people a small window into your perspective. That's what builds familiarity. And when someone comments, that's not just engagement, that's someone raising their hand. That's your cue to talk to them like a human being. This is where real growth happens, not in a broadcast, in conversation. The advisors who get the most out of LinkedIn aren't the ones posting every day. They're the ones responding thoughtfully and turning comments into conversations. All of this works best when you don't have to force it. When your website, your content, your email, and your social channels all support each other, visibility becomes something that runs in the background instead of something you constantly fight. That's what people mean when they talk about systems. It's not about software for its own sake. It's about having a flow. One piece of content feeds multiple channels. One idea turns into several touch points, and one question a client asks becomes something that helps hundreds of people find you. That's how modern advisor marketing actually works. And it's not about doing more, it's about doing it in a way that compounds. So here's the one thing I want you to do after this episode. Go to your website and read your homepage headline out loud. If you're a stranger, will you know who it's for? If not, rewrite it so it clearly speaks to the kind of person you most want to work with. That single change can start shifting how people see you the moment they look you up. I'll talk to you next time. Let's keep going.